This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1004. Am I supposed to say 1004 or 1004? Like, it feels so formal now that we're in the 4-digit territory. But anyway, it's a Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang. And joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Austin, Texas, camped out in front of the Harry Styles Arena, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
And from Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, and mogul, Derek Miner.
Hello.
Okay.
I like it.
Now, Emily, I can tell you're chomping
You
at the
should
bit.
have added a govna to that, by the way, Derek. R.I.P. Queen. Hello, govna. That would have really sealed the deal. It would have been a fitting tribute.
I know, Emily, I can tell you have a question or something you want to say, but before we do that, I want to tell everybody this show is going to be epic. M.I.A. joins us later on. M.I.A., one of our favorite artists, stuff like that. If you read the new issue of Relevant, which just came out last week, you know this cover story is one for the ages. She had a Damascus Road crazy conversion experience to come to faith in Jesus. She tells us all about it, and it has changed her life. This was like 5 years ago, so this isn't a Johnny come lately, like she's new to it all. I mean, she is new to it all. She talks about that, but this is something that has taken hold in her life. She is a genuine Christian faith. It is. She tells us all about it. It's crazy. So part of that conversation is coming up on this podcast. You don't want to miss it. And then at the end of the show, we'll get to know you stuff with the cast. I'm bringing back some table topics, which I always enjoy doing. So you don't want to miss that either. Stay tuned. All right, Emily, I see it. Bated breath. What is it you were wanting to ask or say?
Okay, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I feel like this is a good group to ask this question. So, my brother's a year older than me, and he's getting ready to go to his 10-year high school reunion, which means next year I will be potentially going to mine. But we've been talking about, is it actually worth it? So I need to hear from y'all. What do you even do at a high school reunion, and is it worth it? Because right now I have Facebook, and I just don't think it's worth it.
I didn't go. I couldn't have cared less. I hadn't spoken to any of those people after we graduated, so whatever.
Derek, did you attend any of your reunions?
Bro, I didn't even go back to the school. I didn't even go back to the town that I grew up in.
Same. Like
I was
bye.
Like I you might as well gave me a jetpack. Like I was gone. Like, so we not coming back down to earth anytime soon.
Derek, this is where you and I are very different than Jesse. I know, Justin, this is probably Jesse's Super Bowl. Jesse, did you go?
All right. Well, first of all, I still hang out with people I went to high school with some frequency. Okay.
That's dope. That's dope.
Not all the time, but pretty frequently, right? I mean, I saw probably 4 of them this weekend. Okay. I still see, but I did not attend my own high school reunion. However, I did attend my wife's, and my observation is this.
Whoa. What did she bring you to, like, kind of show you off? Like, you're the trophy husband?
Okay.
Let's get it. Okay.
I'm glad you said that because obviously, yes. But second, here's my observation, Emily. Depending on how you're doing in life is a great place to go because most people are just there to kind of flex on their old friends, to tell them, what they're doing now. They want to, show their glow up, from their awkward teen years. If you have a lot going on, it's a great place to go because it's basically just an achievement. This was my observation, and why I was dragged there. And, sat at the table to just charm everyone for an evening, is basically just to flex on your high school friends. Mm-hmm. My take is if you got a lot of good stuff going on, it's a great place to go. From the one I went to, I enjoyed myself and I had no pressure either. I was just tagging along, just enjoying the free meal and beverages,
Mm-hmm. That's funny. Mm-hmm. So Emily, what are you thinking? Are you going to do it? Is your brother going to do it?
My brother's going to do it. I'm debating because I do like the idea of bragging about where I'm at in life because I'll be honest, pretty happy with how things are going. A year from now, we'll see. Hopefully they'll be better. But anyways, my thing though is there are a lot of people that they post everything that's ever happened to them since high school on Facebook. So I don't need to catch up with them because I know all about the drama.
That is true. Like it's a redundant exercise. Like
I don't need to ask how you're doing. If you tell everybody. So maybe a little too much sometimes, but it's like, what's the point of going if I already know I know what you're going to brag about? Yeah. That's my view.
A class reunion is the floppy disks of school. Like it's like we don't need these anymore. Right? Like this is not. We don't need it.
Well, unless you want to, I mean, what's the point other than food and fellowship with people who you shared a significant portion of your life with? Other than that, I agree.
And look, floppy disk used to have Microsoft Word on it. Now you could just download it off the App Store. Like it's a beautiful thing.
This is basically your opportunity to just make yourself feel better about where you are than the other people you went to high school with. That is what this is.
But I guess if you're not in a good place,
I would avoid it. See you in the 20. See you at the 15. See you at the 25. Maybe I'll get my stuff together by then.
The first time you finally show up is when things are going well. Yeah. Okay. That's a good plan.
All right. Moving the show along. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices.
I wanna be a cowboy, so I could run away from here. Got no idea where I'll end up, but I know I can't stay here. My hair is reaching for my shoulders, my body's running out of steam.
You're listening to Kid Bloom. The song is Cowboy. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
What do you have, Jesse?
All right, so I wanted to, I have an interesting, well, I don't know if it's interesting, but I have a take on a news story, and I won't get into too many of the details. Kind of the headline kind of says it all, is that according to basically a new report from Pew, who for a long time has been measuring trends in religious demographic and how people kind of self-report their own faith, the way things are moving.
I thought they just covered the different lengths of church auditorium seating.
No, up to recently it was smells. Pew.
Oh, okay.
It was a smell index.
Got it.
Fish, rotten eggs, old potatoes, diapers,
sulfur water. Yeah,
exactly. But they've expanded, which has been a good business move for them.
To general research.
They get a lot more coverage in the Associated Press since they moved on
from smells and seating length. Yeah,
exactly. To more of an audience there. Basically, their research predicts based on some observations about just kind of the way things are trending, that in the next 50 years, Christians will no longer be a minority in the country, and nuns will become the official majority in the United States. So people who claim no religious affiliation will be the largest single sort of belief demographic which is, pretty notable because in the early 90s, 90% of Americans called themselves Christians. So you're talking about a significant shift in the last, in a handful of decades.
And we do need to be clear in this audio medium when we say that the majority will be the nuns. We are not talking about Catholic women who live in a convent. We're talking about N-O-N.
I promise that's what I thought you said. I was like, that don't make no sense, y'all.
N-O-N-E-S. They have no religious affiliation.
I was going to let you finish, but I was like,
the rise of the nuns. Yeah, it's an uprising. Yeah.
What?
It would be much more newsworthy if within 50 years, more than half the population lived in a convent.
Yeah. Well, Kanye's wanted to redo monasteries, so who knows?
Yeah. But, and I've seen this, you guys have probably seen some, or maybe you have, listeners, this headline going around as sort of this like calls for alarm where, and this is my take, this is me kind of editorializing here a little bit, where, people are like, oh, this is so sad. I can't believe this. Look what's happening to culture. I look, obviously, I think the proliferation of the gospel is critical and is a positive thing. But I also think, why is this surprising at all? Because, literally the Bible says the path is narrow. The way is wide, but the path is narrow. It says Christians should be a peculiar people. It's hard to be a peculiar people if you're in the majority, right? Like you're no longer peculiar if you dominate the population. Like the gospel is supposed to, the gospel is very inclusive, but it also, the Bible is clear that most people will reject it if it's being preached correctly. Now, I'm not saying this is a good thing that the majority of the population will no longer
because what you're saying is kind of in contrast with the Great Commission that we should be about, expanding and reaching more people.
I'm saying we should, and I'm saying, but this only reaffirms why we should, is because we know that even as we preach this thing, that a lot of people will reject it. That is in the Bible, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying this is a good thing, but I'm saying it shouldn't be that surprising because the gospel tells us, like I said, most people will reject this thing, that we are to stand, our values are to make us stand out from the culture. And again, I'm not saying this is a positive thing. I'm just saying it shouldn't be that surprising because the true gospel, the one that, says, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich person to enter heaven. Like that's a tough message where, you look at, stances on, the poor and immigration right now, you can see why there is widespread, or there could be trending towards a widespread rejection of the gospel. If you stick to the fidelity of the gospel, it shouldn't be surprising that the majority of the population will reject it because it's a difficult message if you're taking it for what Jesus taught. Even this week I saw a tweet, and I'm gonna butcher it, and I wish I could credit it, but I feel like the author of it probably wouldn't mind. But it was something like, so many Christians grew up in a world where they were taught how important the mission field is, to go into the mission field, right? And we're at a time right now where the mission field is literally coming to us, and we're turning it away. And that to me just underscores like this isn't a surprising trend. Like the gospel is challenging to some beliefs a lot of people carry, and to say that Christians are going to be in the minority, while not necessarily a positive thing, isn't a surprising one, and should encourage us to kind of continue to stick to our convictions, knowing that, hey, it might not be, the point of the gospel isn't to be popular, right? The point of it is to draw people to Christ. And we know that process isn't a popular one. Literally, he was crucified because his message was so unpopular. So all I'm saying is like behind the headlines is a deeper story, I think, about the gospel itself, and it's just an interesting cultural trend to observe.
My take is like, I think Christians are already in the minority, not the group, not the religious group, but the people that actually live by the text and actually live with love and joy and treat people with respect and all those different things. I think there's a lot of people that are in that big bubble that say, hey, we're Christians. I don't know if that's just an affiliation. That's like I can say I'm a Crip, but I ain't really a Crip. Like I ain't really about that life. Like I'm just my grandmama was a Christian, so I'm a Christian. Like, it's almost like gangbanging in a little sense. So I don't really see that as something that's, in my mind, I just feel like more people are more bold to take off they're not afraid of the religious backlash from saying, hey, I don't necessarily line up with a lot of this stuff that's being preached on Sundays. Because I think a lot of people just are like, they live in this cultural, Christianity is a cultural phenomenon as well as a religion. So people live in these societies or these cultures that if they say, hey, you know what, I don't necessarily believe in this, then they would get ostracized. They would lose relationships with family and different things like that. I think it's just people are being more open about, who they actually are and what they actually believe. I don't really see that as a bad thing, in my personal opinion. I feel like it's okay. Like, I think the Bible says that there will always be a remnant. That's what the scriptures say. Scriptures also say, Jesus says, let the wheat and the tares grow together and I'll separate them. So for me, what people think about the title of Christianity and where its political power and all those different things doesn't really matter to me at the end of the day, because that's not the crux of our faith in the first place. It's the faith in Christ. So like, whether the name Christian is the most popular name and everybody wants to be a Christian, or whether it's just the remnant is still going to be here. And that's what matters.
I think I see that's where the trend is going to, where people may not necessarily call themselves a Christian, but they do have the Christian faith. But like you said, because of sort of external factors, people don't want to call themselves Christian because of other people claiming that name and saying kind of,
for sure,
you know what I mean? So I see that happening. And I mean, to be honest, I've seen that with my own friends where they would say, I still have the faith. I don't know if I would call myself a Christian. And it's like, well, and then when I press them, like, well, what do you believe? And it's like, well, they believe what the Bible says, but there is like, growing up in the South, everybody was a Christian because it was
right,
because it was the Bible Belt. But now more and more people are saying, well, actually, I don't want to be associated with that, but I do still believe these. Like, it's an interesting time. So I see that as the trend too, where it's like they don't label themselves as Christian, but I do think the faith is still there, that it's not going away.
And like when you said earlier, Jesse, you was like, man, I don't see why we would be surprised. I thought you were going to go a different angle, because for me, I was going to go the angle of like, I don't see why people are surprised. Let's look at all of the public scandals. And when you go look at the history of a lot of the ways people, quote unquote, spread the gospel, it was, the Crusades was awful. Yeah. That was an awful thing. Like, we don't talk about it, but that was awful. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at how Christianity has been the main religion, when somebody wants to justify doing something evil or controlling people, they would use Christianity. And that's not to say that Christianity is bad. That's just saying that was a lot of manipulators' vehicle of choice to take advantage of people. So now with all of us understanding history and all of that, it makes that word, it makes that name or that affiliation a lot harder to stand up and proudly say, yeah, I want to be a part of these organizations like that. That doesn't mean those organizations are bad. And I think the reality is what we're seeing now is just people are people. Yeah. Like, that's what we're seeing now, is that you could be a Christian, you could call yourself a Christian all day, but at the end of the day, you're still gonna have struggles. You got issues. You got all these different things you have to deal with. It's not a superpower that makes you perfect. And I think that's what the world is seeing. And, it's no surprise that some people are struggling to say, how do I feel with this group that has religious power, but then also has political power and is being manipulated. I could see how it would get muddy and make people kind of...
For sure. I mean, a lot of terrible things have been done in the name of Christianity that have nothing to do with the actual values of it.
Big facts.
I mean, if we're talking in the future too, I mean, this is the generations coming up, and like Emily, I get your point, and I agree with it in some context that they still believe, but maybe they aren't participating anymore because they don't want to be associated with people they disagree with. But I think it's actually like the name Christianity, the church, and the people who quote unquote follow Jesus have co-opted. You have to look at that group. that group, if you read these studies like the State of Theology, which we referenced on the last podcast, and some other studies that have been coming out, Christians don't believe Christian theology anymore. So it's like we're learning that what we know as Christianity or the church culture today is full of people who say, I'm part of that. And they don't know what the Bible even says. They don't even, they identify as a Christian, but they don't even understand what that means. And it's like, some people it's a political association. Some people it's just cultural. Like Derek said, my grandma was a Christian, so I guess I am too. But they don't even know what that means. And so what we're now observing is that the generations coming up, they're seeing the people who call themselves Christians. They aren't living the way the Bible talks about. They don't even have consistent beliefs. They're not following Jesus. They're following a culture. And they're going, I don't identify with that. I don't want to be part of that thing. I don't want to be part of another political party, so they're just not even looking at the church. They're not looking at the faith at all. And so they are growing up and they're becoming the norm. I think they are rejecting what we have made Christianity. And so I don't think it's like they have belief and they just don't want the label. I don't think they have the belief because they never considered it because of what they see, and so I think it's absolutely telling. And then I don't know how you come back from this. It's almost like the snowball is rolling. I mean, like, how do you redefine Christianity so a generation will say, oh, that thing that I've seen my entire life isn't really Christianity? Oh, let me check out true Christianity. How do you differentiate cultural Christianity from true Christianity? How do we do that? That is the challenge right now, in my opinion. How do we set a third way example? I don't know.
I would give some encouragement too, like, because this does sound very doom and gloom, but this is also an opportunity for revival. It's an opportunity to say, this is what the faith of Yeshua actually is. It's taking care of the poor. It's taking care of the widows and the orphans. It's loving one another. It's turning the other cheek when you get into a battle.
Or you get spit on by Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it's different. I think this is the point. This is the point for revival, for people that look at these stats and say, man, I hate that this is a reality. Well, guess who it's on to change?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's on us. Like, it's on us to say, okay, enough is enough. Like, we are removing the wolves and we're removing the nonsense from within our midst, and we're rejecting that. And we're saying that is not us. Until that happens, I mean, there is no chance for revival. That's what a revival is. Yeah. It's revitalizing something that is dying, right? So it's like, this is the dry bones moment for us to preach to them so that they live,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jesse told us that the revival is going to come from the nuns. They're
going to the rise of the nuns.
The rise of the nuns.
Yeah. That might have been a little prophetic.
It's going to be an awesome movie too. I mean, they're rising up. Yeah.
Lots of black fabric is going to be involved in the revival moving forward. All right. What do you have, Emily?
Okay. Before I talk about this study, I just want to quickly ask, what is everyone's go-to late night snack?
I am trying not to have any, so doing my best.
Mine is, because we don't have a lot of junk food in my house anymore, I sneak into the baking cabinet and eat semi-sweet chocolate chips. Like,
straight
right
from the
out of,
bag.
I have to eat. I'm to the, because
Jesse, I know for a fact that your family's go-to snack is you're going to make nachos with chicken.
That's family. You're saying me
you
personally.
guys make more nachos than any group of people I've ever seen in my life.
We're 4 or 5 times a week.
Oh, it's lit. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
it's
I'm
like
saying,
a platter of nachos and it's just heaping. It's a great nacho spread.
no,
but that's what
but that's not even, that's just, you said late night snack. That makes it seem like it's something out of the normal pattern. You know what I mean?
Dude, we were playing cards at 1 a.m. and y'all were getting one a little snack. What did you come out with 5 minutes later? A huge thing of nachos. That was a midnight snack.
I'm saying for me personally, listen, do I eat nachos all the time? Yeah, I eat nachos all the time. All of the time. Okay. I mean, like I said, at least every other day I'm eating some form of nacho. I'm just saying late night snack, you're asking me if I got a sweet tooth. And we don't have any ice cream or snacks in the house these days. So I go to the baking cabinet and get just chocolate chips, just handfuls of them. And when Dana, my wife, is like, hey, what happened to all the chocolate chips? I was going to make some cookies or chocolate chip pancakes this Saturday. One of the kids must have knocked it on the floor. I don't know, but they're all gone. Anyway,
Derek, what's you?
Trail mix for me.
What is it?
Yeah, trail mix.
I thought you said shrimps. I literally thought I heard you say shrimps for me. I'm like,
Oh no.
you don't eat shrimp?
Nah.
That would be an
I don't
impressive
eat
late
shrimp.
night snack if you're like, it's time to steam some shrimp at 2 in the
And
morning.
that's a Rick Ross late night snack. That's a rich person.
These guys like shrimp cocktail, like a fresh. Yeah.
I would have, Derek, if you had said shrimp, that you regularly eat shrimp late at night, I already respect you a lot, man. You know that. But my respect level has gotten even higher.
Eat any of the things that crawl on the bottom of the ocean.
No, we don't do bottom feeders.
Yep.
But we do trail mix though. We love trail mix.
Yep.
I love trail mix.
Trail mix is
I feel like you'll
solid.
have much healthier options. Mine is I love chips. I love a good crunchy chip. Preferably Cheetos. That's probably
I like
my
chips.
favorite. But anyways, I'm going to try to stop eating them late at night now because a new study came out that said eating a late night snack, like right before you go to bed, can boost your chances of depression by 26% and anxiety by 16%. So you're just, this is really hard for me because, like I said, I love a little late night chip snack, and apparently it's going to make me depressed and anxious. So just something to be aware of moving forward, that plan your snack meals accordingly. Maybe make your nachos at 7 p.m., not 1 a.m.
I gotta be honest. The jury's out on science these days. We all know that. Okay. We all know science has its own failings. Okay. Just because patterns are repeatable and observable.
What is science's reason for not making me have a midnight snack, though?
Here's the thing. Just because observations are repeatable under controlled circumstances and have undisputed results over and over again.
Right.
If they don't align with what I think the world should be, then I'm not going to believe it.
Amen.
And if you're telling me nachos make me happy later, Cameron, when we brought out that gigantic plate of nachos
made
at
us
1
all
o'clock in the
happy.
morning on a weeknight, okay,
Made us all happy. It was wonderful.
who felt bad about that?
I can tell you it was the first time I've ever had nachos that late in my life, and it was a great experience. I appreciate you expanding my boundaries.
Next time they do the study, you can be added to it to just really throw off all the data.
Again, I'm
That's what
not
you
a
can do.
scientist.
Yeah.
I have a stomach, a mouth, and a heart. And they're telling me sometimes you need nachos at 1 in the morning. I'm just saying,
All right. Derek, what do you have?
good medicine.
Well, and things that I did not expect on my 2022 bingo card, Eminem, DJ Khaled, and Kanye have the #1 Christian song in the country. So
That is insane. I saw
It's
Eminem in our feed, the relevant feed, and I'm like, why are we covering hip hop from 2000?
Oh,
What in the
no.
world?
Hey.
And then the headline was Eminem has a #1 song in the Christian charts. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
Look, homie, I never would have thought, but somehow that's what it is. So sorry, Aaron Cole, no double award for you this year.
Can you imagine? What if DJ Khaled and Eminem roll up to the Dove Awards? Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yo, that'd be the most lit double award in the entire history.
man, that would be
They had to
amazing.
shut that thing
Derek,
down.
would you do a song with
Because
Eminem?
DJ Khaled gonna have like 40 gold
DJ Khaled
chains
shows up on a
Just
jet ski.
Laced out. What'd you say, Emily? Would I do a song with Eminem?
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Eminem and Kanye are two of, like, peak Eminem when he was at his peak is in my top 5.
This is
Like when he was
I
that's my
Derek
dog.
and I disagree about Eminem. This is one of the factors in our relationship is that he loves it. He's got the Detroit connection, the lyrical. But see, Derek
That's it.
came up when Eminem was prime, and so like I feel like he was very instrumental in Derek's initial era
For
of
sure.
hip hop.
Yes.
I
Yes.
came up in the early 90s hip hop. And so by the time it got to the Eminem era, I was just like, what is this trash? Like go back to the golden days. You know what I mean? So like I have a different view on Eminem, but
Eminem is in my opinion, when he was at his best, it's very few artists that are going bar for bar with him. So
I respect that. I respect that. I just don't like his delivery. It's too cartoony for me. But I respect the lyrical, the writing ability, and all that. I'm with
For
you.
sure.
I respect
sure.
it. I just don't like the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't like Mom Spaghetti?
No. Did you know he started a restaurant, a Mom Spaghetti restaurant
I did.
love it.
in
I love
Detroit? It's a real restaurant,
it.
and in fact, if you watch Hard Knocks, they followed the Detroit Lions. The last episode of the series, Eminem shows up to practice. And he brought lunch for the team, and it was all mom's spaghetti stuff, and the team was loving it.
Just what everyone wants on a hot training camp day.
Spaghetti.
A bunch of spaghetti in the middle of the afternoon.
Bunch of meaty noodles, just hot meaty noodles.
It's just what I want literally during a workout is a giant bowl of hot spaghetti.
That's called branding. Is what that's called.
Yes,
That's
sir.
called. That's
Yes,
called.
sir.
I mean, I respect it.
Sponsorships.
I respect it. It's just pretty rare that you cut to the sidelines of a football game and guys aren't eating bananas and protein bars. They got a big bowl of spaghetti and meatballs at halftime.
Just hot, just sweaty, just eating hot food. Yeah.
Sweaty spaghetti.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Anyway, that is crazy. Eminem, top of the Christian charts. What a time we live in right now.
I would love for them to make an appearance at the Dove Awards. That would be just.
I would love for them to win, but they didn't bother to show up. Like, what would, like, I don't know.
I might actually tune into the Dove Awards this year if they were going to show up. So,
But here's the thing though. This is what people don't want to. And this is my homeboy KJ52. Hey, the song worked, bro. My man put out a song back in his heyday called "Dear Slim," trying to get Eminem to come to Christ. The song worked, bro. Hey, Jonah, you did it, dog. You did it, dog. He here.
It took a little time, but look where we are. Look where we are.
So we posted this. I had multiple people were like responding to our tweet talking about KG52, like it finally worked, all this and stuff. I had to ask Tyler because I was a little too young when I guess KG52 came out with this song. And I was like, who is this and why is he being credited for Eminem's Christianity? And he had to give me like a brief summary of who this man was in his song and everything.
Like no lie, I didn't know. I knew the song because it was on TRL and they were just lambasting KJ52 for this song. Like it was bad. You know what I'm saying? So then you fast forward like a decade later or whatever, and I meet Jonah, and I'm like, man, this dude is cool as a bug. Why they do my man like this, yo? It was crazy though. But yeah, it was rough. Yeah, but look, hey, it worked.
You plant the seed, gotta water it, watch it grow. You know, like you never know what God's gonna do.
That's it, man.
All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, M.I.A. joins us.
I just jumped in the deep end. Geronimo, I'm leaping out the boat. If I can't swim, I know that they'll keep me afloat. Into my deep end, I know that I need them. I just jumped in the deep end. The deep end, the deep end, the deep. I just jumped in the deep end. Deep end, deep end.
You're listening to Mike Teasy and Bats. The song is Deep End. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times best-selling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold.
Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose The Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold.
Where our guest today is M.I.A. You know her for her huge hits like Paper Planes and Bad Girls, but you may not know about her journey into Christianity. She sat down with our very own Tyler Huckabee recently to tell us all about her experience with Jesus and how she's learning to connect her new Christian faith and career. She has a brand new album coming out tomorrow, depending on when you listen to this. It's really exciting. Here's our conversation with M.I.A.
I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day.
I think it's interesting when creative people, artists I admire, start veering into faith and spirituality. That's just really interesting to me. So I was curious to see if you would tell us a little more about your experience and what that has meant.
I was comfortable and I was well off and all of these things. And I don't consider myself as somebody that I didn't even believe that Christianity is real, you know. I thought it was a way newer religion to Hinduism, and I was like, it just didn't really interest me, you know. But something happened, an incident happened where I didn't pray or call on God, but I was in a place of need, and I literally got saved, like in a very physical sense, and I think that's what it is like. When you need saving, the person who turns up, no matter who you are, and no matter what religion or no matter what status or what you are, if you are in need and you need saving, the person who turns up to save you is Jesus, because that is what he's known for.
Got a ticket for the city that's fire. Tech 9 for the side that fire. At a protest like, come on and try it. Put your picket down, come on and riot. Down off there.
Because I understand, you know, that Jesus and the concept of Jesus and the stories and the Bible and all of this stuff, like I'm so new to it, you know. It's not that I can recite you the verses of the Bible and stuff like that, but sure. I got into this through personal experience, which is what happens to me every time. Like, it's never one that's studied or someone told me to do this. And, you know, that's why I'm doing something. Like, nobody influences me in that sense. You know, I've always been out there by myself every step of the way in my life, no matter what I do. And I think when it comes to spirituality, it's the same. Like, nobody's ever told me what to be. But I do have these experiences, and when there is truth in it, I have to be truthful and say there's truth in it. Like, it is true. And that is the purpose of maybe experiencing what I experienced, because why do you make the work you make, and why do you go as an artist? Like, why do I have to constantly say the things I say and get in trouble? And why do I get banned by everyone? And why do I get censored by everyone? Why do I get shadow banned? Why do I, why aren't I a billionaire at this point for having, inspired hyperpop in every sense of the word? And why haven't I benefited or reaped the rewards monetarily from these things? And that's because of the things I say, And when something is true, you have to say it. And And I understand, talking about Christianity in this time is terrible because the technocrats that control my internet is not into it. And I get it. Now it's not the right time for me to say these things, but I do feel that everything, there's a reason.
Yeah, pull up to the bumper game, read the signal. Cover me, cause I'm changing how to handle on it. My life, but I broke it. When I get to where I'm going, gonna have you saying it.
If you're a person, you're an artist who for a long time has had an academic informational interest in Hindu, somebody who thinks Christianity is sort of silly. When you have this experience, is it difficult for you does it feel like a paradigm shift in a way that you don't even quite know, like, well, what am I now? What is my identity now? Does it transform you on an enormous scale, or do you feel like you can integrate that into who you already are?
Well, I think the value of you being citizen of the world and your religion is to do good is still within the value system of Christianity. Mm-hmm. And I think you being a voice to people in need, or you being saved and then you being able to be there for other people in need is the biggest value right now, and that thing has always been a part of my work. And I think that in that sense, it's not far off, When I first started out as an artist, everyone used to say, oh, M.I.A, you're really good at creating out of chaos, you're not afraid of it and you can make anything make sense. And that really reminds me of what Hindu value system is. It's very, very chaotic, and everything is right and everything makes sense and everything is God and everything is part of the world and everything's meant to happen. And it's very as is, and I think now with a different outlook, with a Christian outlook, I want things to be more simplified and, clear, and things to have more clarity and your messages to have more clarity. Though, I think this album is exactly that sort of conflict of me deciphering between both. That sort of reflects in my work at the moment because I haven't fully understood what my role is. It's not like I'm going to be Mace and become a pastor or, preacher or something like that. And so I'm I know that it's important for me to carry on making work, And what if I was always doing the right thing? And that's why Jesus turned up and saved you. And so there's nothing to change about it, So you're do you need to change or do you just carry on? So I think that turmoil and that conflict is what my new record is about.
That was M.I.A. Read more of that incredible conversation with her in the brand new issue of Relevant Magazine. She is the cover story, and it's available for free right now. Just click on the magazine tab at relevantmagazine.com. It's presented by He Gets Us. Don't miss it. It's a great read. And check out her new album. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's Table Topics.
Just a little more time, was it really that I did? It was all I ever asked of you. It was all I ever asked of you. Nothing compares to the trouble that I've been through. It was all I ever asked of you. It was all I ever asked of you. I said it straight, maybe I didn't make it obvious.
You're listening to Rachel Chinariri. I think I got that right. The song is All I Ever Asked. All she ever asked is for people to pronounce her name right. Okay, normally this is where we have our games, stuff like that, but our quiz master is on vacation this week. So I thought it was a great opportunity to grab the table topics cards, pick a couple at random, get to know the cast a little bit. So here you go.
Yeah.
Derek, if you knew that you were going to inherit a fortune, how would your plans for the future change?
How would they change? If I was going to inherit a fortune, how would my plans for the future change? To be honest, I love my life. I can't really think of nothing that I would want to do besides, y'all know me. Y'all heard the music and how I act. I would definitely be flexing now. I'm just going to let y'all know. It's going to, look, I ain't going to hold y'all. Like, I'm not going to hold y'all. The next Dove Awards with DJ Khaled, I'm pulling up in matching Lambos with Khaled. You know what I'm saying?
His midnight snack. He's got a midnight snack, eating his shrimp cocktail out of a gold goblet.
Out of a gold goblet. I'm gonna flex a little bit, but I'll just a little bit. I have to pull up in a Lambo, and I might pull up to a Lambo at the high school reunion. To be real, you know what I'm saying?
The real change is we're talking shrimp nachos late night. Okay, that's the primary.
Come on, man.
We're upgrading.
So I would flex a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, but it would just be a little bit, and then it also depend on how much I'm inheriting. When you mean a fortune, are we talking about $1 million? Are we talking about $1 billion? Because if we talk about $1 billion, then ridiculous.
I'm buying an island at that point. Yeah. Emily, what do you do when you can't sleep?
That's a really great question because I have self-diagnosed insomnia. So
self-diagnosed. You're like all the TikTok therapy that shows up in my feed. Self-diagnosed narcissist here.
I have to clarify that I'm self-diagnosed because I've never actually been tested.
No. But Emily, to be fair, I feel like insomnia is something you're allowed to self-diagnose with because it only has literally one symptom. You can't fall asleep. I don't think you're going out on a limb with your self-diagnosis.
Okay, I'm trusting your science.
Sure.
So I am diagnosed insomniac. I typically just will put a movie or something on and just try to fall asleep to it, or I'll read just something that makes my mind require, I have to do something that makes my mind require a lot of brain power. And then once my brain gets tired, because I feel like I'm typically staying awake because my brain is it's already on a wavelength. So I just have to overexert power for it to finally be okay, we can shut off now. I don't know if that's healthy at all, but that's what I do.
Oh, this is interesting. This ties into your slice. What was your favorite after school snack?
Oh, well, man. I mean, Hot Pockets were pretty high up on the list, depending on if we had a lot of little Debbie snacks. Sometimes some Steak-'em.
I do not understand how you're not 700 pounds, dude.
I would eat Hot Pockets. I mean, there wasn't a day for years that went by that I wasn't eating at least 2.
Time out. Not only is Jesse not 700 pounds, he's ripped.
He's a fit Adonis of a man.
Well, I will say this to Hot Pocket haters. There's evidence. Okay. You have your science. I have mine.
Take that, science.
Jesse's philosophy on caloric intake is if you can just go all the way, it reverses your metabolism. Your body has to burn so many calories that then it just keeps going.
You've been in my home recently and you saw what we're eating throughout the day and throughout the night. And I don't know.
But nachos are always out. The nachos are always out and hot.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
The nachos.
Yeah. It's nachos just keep things loose, I think. It's a lot of essentials. Salt, tomatoes, cheese. I mean, it's the food groups and a hot, delicious plate out of the oven.
Look,
it's pretty simple.
So this is also reason number 4,643 why I'm not going to any kind of high school reunion, because you said that in jest, but no lie, my PE teacher, Mr. Potts, told me that pizza was the best thing that you could eat as far as diet. It had all the major food groups: bread, cheese.
Your PE coach told you that.
He was also my basketball coach. No lie. Yo, this man told us pizza was it.
The balanced meal in a handheld form. Come on.
Exactly. It's efficient. It's delicious. And it's got a little bit of everything.
I'll be honest with you. On Netflix, there's a new Chef's Table season, but it's specifically pizza chefs.
saw that.
I watched it, and after it was done, I was on Amazon looking at home pizza ovens because I didn't pull the trigger. But man, that got
It's a health decision ultimately. It's an investment in your health is to buy a pizza oven.
I have a feeling it would be the opposite for me, but teach his own. All right, what's the best piece of marital advice you've been given? Little zigzag.
Who's this one's going to? Derek?
To Eric or to Emily. To Emily. What's the best piece of marital? Well, I'm kidding.
Get married.
I don't know if that's advice.
I'm not qualified to answer it. So, do y'all have any
nachos will
good
fix a
marital
lot? Okay, you're in a little spat. Hey, I just need a minute. When you come back from that minute, you come out with a plate of nachos. Everything, let's just forget about. I don't even remember what we're fighting about. Let's just have some nachos. Relax a little. Nachos fix lots of stuff, from relational issues to chronic health problems. Derek, what's your advice?
Did you have nachos at your wedding?
I don't think.
I think the nachos are in recent years. I don't think this is a
new development.
Yeah,
multi-decade.
It was.
thing.
Yeah, it's really
it's old Hot Pockets essentially.
It's a lifestyle. We live the nacho lifestyle. That's the thing. That's
nacho
right.
average
That's right.
lifestyle.
Derek, what was the best marriage advice you've heard?
I think the best marriage advice that I got was my homeboy told me don't ever sleep on the couch. He was like, I don't care how mad you and your wife get, y'all sleep in the same bed every night. And
I thought you were saying don't sleep on the couch. You go get a nice hotel room. Okay, so you're saying
he said nah.
Okay, gotcha.
He's like, yo, I don't care how angry you are with her. Y'all make sure that y'all sleep in the same bed together. And we've done that. No, and we might have been kicking each other at night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Pulling the covers a little.
Bit.
But real talk, it's a variation of don't let the sun set on your anger.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's what he was telling me.
You can't solve every problem before bed, but don't go to bed mad enough where you're sleeping in the other room. I think that's good advice. Also, nachos. If you have shrimp, if you want to toss some shrimp on there, no one's complaining too.
Which part of your life is the most mysterious? For all y'all, and that'll be the last one. Which part of your life is the most mysterious?
Where to begin?
I don't know what that means. I don't want to know about secret sins. Don't go there. Don't go there.
I guess technically where I'm living, that no one knows where I live.
Your location is the most mysterious part of your life.
Yeah. I'm really bad. Sometimes I forget to tell my parents when I go to a new city too. So like they'll call me and they'll ask what I'm doing and I'll say I'm hanging out with a friend. And they're like, oh, are they visiting Dallas? I'm like, oh, no, sorry. I'm in Austin right now. Like I forgot to mention that or something. So trying to be better, but it's kind of fun to just show up places and not tell anybody what I'm doing.
For safety reasons, you might want to turn on the family sharing location thing on your phones.
40 people have my location. I use Find My Friends actively.
Okay, good.
The question I get a lot in the big mystery, which I refuse to divulge, is where'd you get all this shrimp, bro? You got a lot of shrimp these days. And let's just say it's better if people don't know how I acquired the shrimp.
So
just weird. Know I'm in possession of a tremendous amount of shrimp right now.
I had, this has nothing to do with eating shrimp, but I had 2 shrimp in this aquarium that's behind me, saltwater aquarium, and they're expensive. Yeah. I don't know if you've been to a saltwater aquarium store, but these cleaning shrimp that go around and just clean the bottoms, clean the rocks, they're like
were they delicious?
They're like $50. Yeah. I'm not kidding. $50 for a shrimp. Okay. So I buy 2 of them and a few days later, one's missing. No evidence, just gone. And then the next day I see the other one. He's fine. And I come back 30 minutes later and he's chopped up in little pieces on the bottom of the tank. And then I come back an hour later and all of it's gone. All of it's gone. The fish ate it. There's a crab in my tank that hides and goes and attacks the shrimp and cuts them in half with his thing. And then all of the fish feast on the shrimp. And
that's what you get for putting such a delicious creature in your aquarium.
Cameron Day.
Don't buy $50 shrimp is all I'm saying. That's the life lesson that I've learned with this aquarium. Just if you have a crab, don't invest in shrimp.
Bro, you could get several pounds of shrimp for $50 at Kroger, bro, or Publix.
They're not alive and eating, cleaning things. Anyway, but hey, I've stopped eating shrimp like you, man. Now that I know what these shrimp eat, what they do, what their purpose is in the ocean, They are the cleaning crew. They eat the waste.
It's rough, bro. It's rough.
Why am I going to put that in my mouth? I'm not going to put that in my mouth.
Yeah, homie.
Anyway. All right. Well, there's a lot more questions. We'll get to them on future episodes. This is a lot of fun. I like table topics. Before we wrap it up, I want to thank M.I.A. for joining us. Her brand new album, M.A.T.A, drops on Friday. Don't miss it. Also, make sure to read the full cover story with her, and the new issue of Relevant is available now for free online at relevantmagazine.com. Also, while you're there, make sure to check out the rest of the great stuff in the issue. Conversations with Dayglow and T. Wright, the cast of the new Rings of Power, and so much more. If you're a Relevant Plus subscriber, make sure to check out your enhanced ad-free digital edition of the magazine too. It's in your account dashboard. Okay, on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Derek Miner.
We'll see you next time. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Listen, do I eat nachos all the time? Yeah, I eat nachos all the time. All of the time.
Relevant Podcast Network. Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify magic. Your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.